Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. And today, well, today is Hump Day.
Uh-oh. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day!
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day!
Love that opening. Yes, folks, today is Hump Day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not. But as I always like to say, the fun is all in the trying. But trust me, we are trying really hard. Mike seems to be successful, at least for today, because he's not going to be here with us. So it's going to be me. It's going to be you. It's going to be a little bit of Eagle Rare, and we're going to have a good time. Now, I have to be good because I'm still in the middle of the California School Boards Association conference, and well, I still got an event that I got to go to this evening, but I'm going to have a good time at that event. So I don't know. Maybe we consider this pre-gaming. Maybe I don't know. But hopefully you will pregame a little bit with me. Just remember, if you are watching this program live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, we're taking your comments. We would love to hear from you. I'm watching them right here, and if I find them to be interesting, we will share them with our audience. And know that you do not have to agree with us in order for it to be considered to be interesting. In fact, if you disagree with us, it's probably even better because then, well, then we have the opportunity to mock you.
Oh wow, is that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
And wasting absolutely no time chiming in is our good friends over at American Crossfire, tuning into the program. Very much appreciate having you with us. All right, we're going to get into the program now. I've got to be honest. I'm just going to be real. There wasn't a whole lot of like out there crazy, really cool news today. So we're going to have to spice it up a little bit. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. But we always have a good time. So hopefully you'll have a good time with us today as we discuss probably not so interesting news. Well, I won't say it's not interesting. It's just not as interesting. But we always start off with a quick shout out to our sponsors, and we'll start with our folks over at Hitman Industries. Hitman Industries makes rifle and pistol caliber barrels. They're available at any length, and they're available for you to purchase at hitmanindustries.net. If you've purchased an AR in the last few years, there's a good chance you already have one of their barrels, so I know you love it, so why not get another one? Then we've got the folks over at the California Republican Assembly working to help elect conservatives at all level of government, from school board all the way up to President of the United States. Ronald Reagan once referred to CRA as the conscience of the Republican Party. Folks, I have to tell you, it's one of the first political organizations that I joined when I came to California. It is the largest and fastest growing grassroots conservative organization. When I say conservative, I mean conservative. There are MAGA folks in it, but I mean truly conservative. You need to check them out. CRAGOP.org. It's CRAGOP.org. If you want to be a part of California's future today, you got to join CRA. And then we've got the best in concealed carry tactical holsters available on the market. You will find them at hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com. HAWG stands for Helping Americans Wear Guns. That's how that's why they sell holsters, because they want to help Americans wear guns. In fact, they want to help so much, they're going to give you a discount. All you have to do is use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, one word, just like it is right up there. You're going to get a nifty little discount when you buy your holster. And then finally, it's folks, you got to be tactically trained. And in fact, my niece's husband, I don't know what you call your niece's husband, my nephew-in-law, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, he's been talking about going out doing some tactical training, and it keeps reminding me, I need new tactical gear. I need new gear. I don't necessarily need new guns. Well, of course, we always need new guns. But the place to go get your tactical gear is uscombatgear.com. They have all things tactical except the gun. So go there, check them out. Trust me, they have phenomenal pricing, and they specialize in group sales. They have a huge selection. They have the best customer service on the market. Folks, check them out today. Get your group together, get your agency together, get your team together, however it is you do your group purchase, and go over to uscombatgear.com, the place where you can get all things tactical except the gun. All right, that's going to bring us to our first story, talking about tactical. You know they're going to be wearing some tactical gear when they That's right, when they kick off the immigration crackdown there in New Orleans. Now, there are a lot of cities, there are a lot of places, there are a lot of states. When I say a lot, I mean blue cities, blue states. Well, they don't want an immigration crackdown. They don't want crime to go down. They don't want any federal assistance in order to deal with growing crime. But the folks out there in New Orleans, the folks out there in New Orleans, yeah, that is not necessarily the case. And the Trump administration has begun their crackdown there in the Big Easy. And, well, looks like so far it's being pretty well received. This being reported by the folks over at Raiders. It says here, U.S. immigration officials kicked off an operation in New Orleans to arrest immigrants in the U.S. illegally. Federal officials said on Wednesday, making it the latest city to be targeted by President Donald Trump's crackdown. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security said the operation would target criminal offenders who had been released from local custody due to city policies that limit cooperation with federal immigration enforcement. Trump, a Republican, has ordered such operations in Democratic-led cities, not just Democratic-led cities, but cities that specifically have sanctuary policies and have released known criminals onto public streets. Anyway, and has ordered such operations in Democrat-led cities across the U.S., including Los Angeles, Chicago, and Washington, D.C., in a bid to drive deportations to record levels. The office of New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell did not respond to a request for comment, nor did the New Orleans Police Department. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry, a Republican, has supported federal immigration enforcement efforts and did so in a Wednesday interview with local radio. Landry's office did not respond to a request for comment. Criminal records. Okay, it's true. There are some people being arrested who have no criminal records. But why are they being arrested? They're being arrested because, once again, as these folks are targeting, they're going to look for these individuals. Are they going to go to the jails? Of course not. Why? Because they let them out of the jails. They've let them out into the public. And so, because they've been released out into the public, guess where law enforcement, guess where ICE is going to go? They're going to go into the public. Not only are they going to go into the public, they're going to go to the places where, once again, these folks are. And chances are that if they came here illegally, guess who else they are hanging out with? Other people who came here illegally. So if you came here illegally and you're hanging out with other people who came here illegally, when they come to get the person who's the criminal, do you think they're going to leave behind the other individuals who maybe the only crime that they committed while they were here was being here illegally? Do you think they are going to just let them go? No, they are not, because they have said as much. In fact, in every single press conference they've done with every single one of these operations, they've made it very clear. We are targeting criminal, illegal aliens, those who have committed crimes. And sometimes, by the way, that crime is their case has already been read, it's already been looked up, and it's already been deemed that they gotta go. So they've already been deemed, they've already been issued, they've already been told you're going to be deported. So there's those folks. There are the criminal, but which, by the way, they don't count those folks. The media doesn't count those folks amongst the criminal aliens. So when they give you these numbers saying, oh, well, only a small percentage of them have actually committed crimes. Well, no, some of them have already committed crimes because they have an issue of deportation. They have an order of deportation and they haven't self-deported. So they're being deported. So there's those folks. There are the ones who have actually committed the crime or have been accused of the crime, but once again are here illegally. So they did the boot. They got kicked out. And then, by the way, then there are the folks who are here illegally, who are hanging out with the criminals or in the same vicinity as the criminals, probably in some cases related to the criminals, and they're getting deported. They're saying it's putting citizens in danger. Yet, You don't find, I mean, the only thing that you have found is there have been some cases where a citizen, because they did not have proof with them, has been temporarily detained. That has happened. Have any been deported? No, they haven't. And by the way, citizens that have been, that have gotten, that have not that have been deported, but that have been arrested, are generally those who are physically attacking ICE agents. Physically attacking with their cars, with signs, with bottles, with rocks, with their hands and their fists, physically attacking immigration officials. And yeah, you attack a cop, you're gonna get it. So, anyway, all that having been said, good things are happening in New Orleans. And trust me, with them there, you will start to, all of a sudden, you will start to see crime go down. You'll start to see cost of living go down because a lot of these folks, they're getting, I mean, first of all, and I said this before, when you look at it, these folks are making up about 47% of the increase in homelessness in a lot of places. Places like California, places like New Orleans. So a lot of the homeless shelters are full of these folks. A lot of the housing programs that are not supposed to give money to illegal immigrants are giving money to illegal immigrants in order to help them pay rent. The problem is that that money is going to pay rent for them, and other people who are Americans are are being told, yeah, we don't have money to help you pay rent. We do have money to help pay an illegal immigrant. Anyway, that's what's going on there. So interesting stuff. Well, as interesting as you want to be, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what the effects once again is going to be on crime there. We've already seen in Memphis. It's made a difference. We've seen in Washington D.C. It's made a difference. I don't know what sort of a difference it's making in terms of just the immigration crackdown. I don't believe that they're actually doing any law enforcement assistance. I believe all they're really doing there in New Orleans is the immigration stuff. So anyway, interesting things are happening there. All right, 63% now believe college is not worth the cost. And I have to tell you, I kind of agree with this number. I'm not surprised by this number. And I'll use myself as an example. My degree is in financial services and investments, and now I do PR, digital communications, and I talk trash on YouTube and Rumble for a living. And by the way, I make a halfway decent living at it. Go figure. What good did my college degree do for that? Well, it helped me learn how to be a lifelong learner. But for the most part, there are a lot of people who their college degree has been utterly useless. In fact, I would probably say that there are very few things that I learned in college other than how to learn that I actually apply today. Most of the stuff I learned, I don't apply. I just don't. And I think most people are that way. In fact, studies have shown that the average person changes career back. Well, let me clarify. This was years ago, but they were saying the average person changed jobs every 5 years, careers every 10 years. So, anyway, let's read the story here being reported by the folks over at Breitbart. It says here a massive and healthy shift in public opinion has occurred, with only 33% of adults believing a college education is worth the cost. A poll of 1,000 adults conducted for far left NBC News asked the following: is a 4-year college degree worth the cost because people have a better chance to get a good job and earn more money over their lifetime? Or not worth the cost because people often graduate without specific job skills and with large amount of debt to pay off? And that is 100% true. Only 33% said yes, while 63% said no. When asked this same question in 2013, 53% said yes, while only 40% said no. It's just, quote, it's just remarkable to see attitudes on any issue shift this dramatically, and particularly on a central tenet of the American dream, which is a college degree. Americans used to view a college degree as aspirational. It it provided an opportunity for a better life, and now that promise is really in doubt, said one of the pollsters from Hart Research Associates Public Opinion Strategies. Remarkably, adds NBC, less than half of voters with college degrees see those degrees as worth the cost. 46% now, down from 63% in 2013. So there's a few things here. Number one is a lot of people now, once again, are doing jobs like myself that have nothing to do with what they actually studied in college. In fact, most of what I've learned to do what I do, I've learned on the job. I've learned doing it. I've learned as I've built my business. I got paid almost nothing. Well, let me clarify. At first, I was getting paid nothing to do it. Then all of a sudden, I was getting paid something to do it. I got good enough for people to pay me to do it, and now I get paid pretty well. I mean, there are people who definitely make more doing it, but I do all right. So there's that. Then there is just the wokeification of higher education, where you have people who are now going in and they're graduating with degrees in Chicano studies and Black studies and sociology and women's studies and biracial, transgender basket weaving. And they're spending a lot of money on these degrees, right? And when I say spending a lot of money, I mean they're borrowing a lot of money with the idea that once I have this degree, it means I'm automatically going to get a good paying job. And there's no analysis, there's no determination. Okay, is this worth getting? In other words, if I'm going to spend X, tens of thousands of dollars or X hundreds of thousands of dollars, how much am I going to earn over my lifetime in order to be able to earn that, in order to recoup that money? I mean, I can't tell you the number of times I honestly thought about going and getting a degree, going and getting either a doctorate or a master's degree. The problem was, would that pay off? How would it pay off? Well, earlier, when I was younger, it probably would have paid off. The problem was I wasn't willing to go into debt because I had a wife and I had a family, and I was for a long time, the sole breadwinner in my family. I couldn't afford to take the time off work to do it. I made the economic decision not to do it. And as I've gotten older, now at my age, I'm like, well, could I go and get a master's? Yeah, I could. Or could I go and get a doctorate? I'd love to teach at the college level. I already know, trust me, I know people who teach at the college level. I already know I know more than they do. But why don't I go back and get a doctorate? Well, because the cost of a doctorate, I would never recoup. I would spend somewhere around $50,000 to $100,000 to get a doctorate. And would I actually work that long and get paid enough money with that doctorate to recoup getting it, to make it worth getting it? Likely no. It's highly unlikely that I would make that kind of money. So I've made that economic decision. Imagine if lenders actually made those decisions when it came to whether or not they were going to do student loans. Right now, they don't have to do that because it's all guaranteed by the federal government. If you don't pay it back, the government pays it back. So it's guaranteed. And you don't worry. They don't tell you, they don't get you to think about whether or not you should actually do this, whether or not you should mortgage your future. They don't even think about that because they want you to borrow the money. So you graduate, you've now got 4 or 5 different student loans, you're making hundreds of dollars a month in payments, probably in many cases more than you're paying on your car, in some cases about as much as they're paying on their house. For a degree that's not going to guarantee you a job. I know people right now in the military that are getting these certifications rather than going and getting they're going to get certifications for certain things in technology, for certain things in computers and networking and all of that. And it's worth the certificates that they're getting are a greater value to employers than a degree in computer science. That's what's happening now. Or even let's just throw all of that aside. What if you decided to go into some of the trades like construction, where you can straight out of high school, you can become an apprentice and within a few years be making at or more than 6 figures as a welder, as a carpenter, right? I mean, making really, really good money because they don't have enough welders. We don't have enough carpenters. We don't have enough people in the construction trades. And once again, and then while you're there, while you're on the job, you're learning various different skills so that you're not out there working in the field as a welder, you're not using your body for making a living your entire life. As you get older, you become a foreman, right? You learn how to do various different things that will allow you to use your brain instead of your body. It's real world experience that has people thinking this now. It's real world experience. Like I said, especially in the area of technology. I mean, all the stuff that I've learned regarding live feeds, regarding website management, regarding social media management, regarding SEO, regarding AI. I mean, all this stuff that I've learned that I now employ for my clients. I didn't learn that in college. I learned that on the job or in business. Anyway, so yeah, it's becoming less and less worth it. So I no longer, when I talk to young people, I no longer say you have to go to college. My thing is you have to have a plan. And as a part of that plan, developing marketable skills has to be a part of that plan, right? I'm not saying you have to love what you do. It's great if you love what you do. It really is. But I'm saying that if you're going to do what you love to do, make sure that within that you develop marketable skills. When I say marketable skills, what does that mean? That means that if someone knows I do this, they'll pay me to do it for them. Right? That's how free market economy works. If you can meet a need either better than other people or that other people can't fill, then you become more valuable. If you can do it faster than other people, right? That's marketable skills. So I just tell you right now, do that. Focus that early on. Focus on getting marketable skills. And it doesn't matter what those skills are, develop them, become expert at them. And then once you may decide I want to go another direction. That's fine. You can go another direction eventually. But start earning that scratch. Start earning that money. Get known. Get your feet on the ground financially. And then start dabbling in other areas. I didn't start off doing what I do. I started off in consumer finance, then I got into residential lending. And then I made the switch over working for the California Chamber of Commerce, started working in membership recruitment and started working in understanding public policy and recruiting folks to support the chamber and then the work that they were doing. Anyway, the point is it takes a pivot. And by the way, as you make that pivot, that means sacrifice. That's the other thing people don't want to tell you. Sacrifice. Is it worth the sacrifice to go to college? Because, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of fun, but it's a sacrifice financially and via time. There's an opportunity cost. Generally, if someone goes into the construction trades and applies themselves, they are making way more money than the average college graduate by the time they reach college graduate age. They're earning much more money. That's just the fact. Now, can the person with the college degree catch up to them? Depends on the college degree. If you're in engineering, most definitely, you're gonna do better, right? If it's in computer science, maybe not, depending on what you specialized in and what sort of certifications you got while you were in college. If it's in medicine, well, it's gonna take you a little bit longer because you got other stuff you got to do, like med school, your residencies, all that fun stuff. But yeah, so whether or not it's worth it all depends on what it is that you decide you want to do. But it's no longer a given that getting a college degree is the way to go. It's just no longer a given. Used to be, it was when I was growing up, not anymore, especially since a lot of employers aren't even requiring them anymore. Anyway. Speaking of college degrees, well, this is one dude whose college degree well, I don't know if I think he's still a student, but anyway, ain't worth doo-doo. His degree ain't gonna be worth doo-doo. And that is this individual, you may or may not have heard about this, but there is a young man. He's a University of Delaware student, and he has allegedly mapped out an attack on campus police and also had a bunch of weapons included on or in his vehicle. Let's read here. It says here a University of Delaware student accused of plotting to attack the University of Delaware Police Department scrawled detailed plans to target campus authorities, the Justice Department said. Uh, Lock, Lockman Khan, 25, was arrested following a traffic stop in Newcastle County last week when authorities allegedly found a .357 caliber Glock handgun loaded with 27 rounds. Also found were three 27-round magazines, an armored ballistic plate, a marble composite notebook, and a notebook and a notebook a composite notebook and a notebook. Okay. The Justice Department said, quote, in the handwritten notebook, Khan discussed additional weapons and firearms, how they could be used in an attack, and how law enforcement detection could be avoided once an attack was carried out, the DOJ said. The notebook referenced a member of the University of Delaware's police department by name and included a layout of the building with entry and exit points under which the words UD Police Station were printed. In addition, the notebook contained warfare techniques, assault plans, and a diagram of the University Police Department, federal prosecutors said. Other court documents detailed a layout of the university building. So, this guy was planning on attacking law enforcement. We do not know what this individual's motivation is or was. I'm assuming that will come out eventually. We do know they was planning on attacking law enforcement. I'm going to guess that he's not a right winger, but you never know. I'm going to assume my first assumption is that he is a leftist because leftists seem to be the ones who love attacking law enforcement. So I'm pretty sure it be them, that them's are be the ones that he was going after. But it's interesting. So this guy got pulled over, and they didn't say whether or not he was already being investigated. Just said that he got pulled over. Now, the dumb thing with this guy is that okay? So if they just pulled you over, I'm wondering what excuse they use. I mean, I'm wondering how they got to search his car. Did he have the firearms in plain sight? If the firearms were in plain sight, well, dude, yeah, he's dumb. I'm sorry, which definitely means he's probably on the left. If they if they asked to search the vehicle and he said yes, dude is dumb. Which once again just goes to explain, yeah, he's probably on the left. Because believe it or not, folks, without a warrant, if they ask you to search your vehicle, you are not obligated to allow them to search your vehicle. Now, they may claim that they have probable cause, but you just make sure that you notably object and say, nope, sorry, you don't get to search my car. I do not give permission, because then they have to, as a part of that case, they then have to verify, because if you got an attorney worth the salt, he's going to say, my client they're going to fight the whole probable cause thing. They're going to make it clear that that you dissented, that you did not want to have the vehicle searched, and then they have to determine, and they have to prove that they in fact had probable cause. And folks, the reason why I say that is this: in places like California, and also people are like, well, why would you do that? They would have never caught this potential terrorist. The reason why I do that is because what winds up happening is place like California, where you practically have to be a paralegal or have some sort of pass the baby bar in order to be able to own a gun. There's a good chance that you could unknowingly be doing something that is not legal. I hate to say this, but it is the truth. Laws change here so fast. There's a chance that you could be doing something illegal, and if you allow them to search and they find something, or maybe you have a friend in the car, you don't know what they have, right? You don't know what's on them or what's in the vehicle. Yeah, it's always better to just defend your rights. If they don't have a warrant, It's always better to say, once again, you don't have to be a jerk about it. Gosh, I really would love to. My attorney would be really, really mad at me if I let you search my car without a warrant. Hey, all you gotta do, just get a warrant and you can come on back and search it. Right? You don't have to be a jerk about it. Just be nice, be pleasant, be disarming. But just be very, 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 very clear. It says here they determined that American Crossfire. So are you saying that they have? So there was also a Glock switch in the vehicle. They found a Glock switch. Once again, would then even raise the question even more: how did they search your vehicle? What did you have either on you, or what were you doing that would lead them or give them sort of probable cause that they would need to be able to search your vehicle? One can only surmise, right? One can only surmise exactly what was going on there, but clearly not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Anyway, moving right along. The case of the missing congressman. This is one of our favorite congressmen. You may not know this, but Eric Swalwell appears to be missing. That's right, Congressman, gubernatorial candidate in the state of California, Mr. Eric Swalwell, he's missed 16 votes. That's right, Representative Swalwell has missed the last 16 votes in Congress. It says here, California Representative Eric Swalwell has been hot on the campaign trail for California governor in his signature fleece vest. There's him right there, which was also spotted on him in the halls of Congress in a Fetterman-esque fit. But the casual congressman hasn't been in Congress since November 18th, casting votes. On November 18th, Swalwell skipped out on 4 bills. The following day, no show. Swalwell missed 5 bills. Rounding out the week, no voting appears for 2 bills on the 20th and 1 on the 21st. Stepping into December, Representative Swalwell continues to step out of voting. And see here, I'll put this link in the description. This is all of I'll put this link, not in the description, I'll put this link in the comments. And if you go here to the article over at Breitbart, you can see all of the places that are there. Yeah, okay, I see American Crossfire. If I had read to the next paragraph, I would have seen that they found the switch. Okay, thank you for noting that. I'll go back and read that article. In fact, let me go ahead and post that article. Did I already close it out? No, I didn't close it out. There we go. Bam. Let me go ahead and post that article for y'all as well, so y'all can read and see where he got what they found there. But yeah, so Representative Swalwell has basically decided, no, I'm going to campaign for governor. I'm not going to bother showing up to actually do my job. Oh, I just saw. I had y'all looking at the back end, seeing where I'm posting and sharing the comments there in the back end. So y'all see, I am here. I am actually doing it, even if I am kind of pulling back the what do you call it? Pulling back the curtain, letting y'all see what's going on. In any case, my thing is always this. I have no problem with people running for the next office. I have no problem with people saying, look, I'm running for this office because eventually I want this office. My key is this. Are you going to do a good job in the office that you're running for, that you're in? So far, Representative Swalwell has been a horrible congressman, from sleeping with Fang Fang, the Chinese spy, to lying on President Trump, claiming, oh yeah, there's all this evidence that he was involved in Russian collusion. None of that happened. All of that has been debunked. And now here we are. He wants to be governor of the state of California, and he can't even bother to show up and do his job in Congress. So yeah, no, sorry, dude, no. And by the way, I would feel that way if I was talking about a Republican too. If you are a Republican and you want to be whatever office you want to run for, you need to do the job you're in. If you're not interested in doing the job you're in, then I see no reason why I should be obligated or even why I should even consider supporting you for the next job, because, you don't care enough to do the job that you're in. All right, folks, that now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, one word, and get your hog holster today. All right, our first two here are actually going to be from the Babylon Bee, fake news that you can trust. As you know, Democrats are attempting to accuse Secretary of War Pete Hegseth of a war crime. Well, he's not the only one. Once again, from Babylon Bee, fake news that you can trust. Democrats accuse Luke Skywalker of war crimes for using more than one proton torpedo against the Death Star. Wow. Yeah, good stuff. This next one, once again, also from the Babylon Bee. Minnesota added to Trump's third world travel ban. That's a good one. That is a good one. Then you got this one, this also having to do with the fraud that took place. We talked about, I believe it was yesterday or the day before there in Minnesota. This is a cartoon. It's got Tim Walz. It's also got Kamala Harris. You got Tim Walz saying, "How can I be responsible for $1 billion disappearing from Minnesota social programs in just 2 years?" And then you have Kamala chiming in, "Come on, Tim. We made that much disappear in 170 days." That's right. She spent almost $2 billion on her presidential run. This next one is one that I wanted to share because I always found it interesting. And it's because people are always calling liberals are always calling conservatives racist. It says here, conservatives are racist. And then conservatives imagining the ideal Supreme Court. And it's literally 9 justices or 9 copies of Justice Clarence Thomas. And I think that's really telling. And I gotta say, once again, I very much agree with the sentiment of this particular meme, because when I think of, for example, when I ask people, who are your favorite Supreme Court justices? The 2 that almost always come up, and once again, not necessarily current, but all time, is Alito and Thomas. Almost every single time. And actually, Justice Thomas actually comes up more than Alito. And it's probably because he's still on the Supreme Court. But Clarence Thomas is by far most Republicans' favorite Supreme Court justice. I also think when I think of economists, and I talk to people about economists, for those of us nerds who actually follow and read economists, the ones that always come up, obviously there's Milton Friedman and Thomas Sowell. Friedrich Hayek, yeah, but Thomas Sowell comes up way more often, right? For those of you who do not know, Thomas Sowell is black. Just putting it out there. But yeah, but conservatives are racist. I mean, it's the funniest thing. It's just the funniest thing to me how people label. Here's the thing. The thing is that they're not the right kind of black. Yeah, if you ever say that to somebody, it's time to do a check. It's time to do a racist check. Just saying. It's time to do a racist check. Check yourself. You said something stupid. All right, folks, well, that brings us to the end of our program. But before we go, we're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. We're going to start with Hitman Industries, rifle and pistol caliber barrels available for you to purchase at hitmanindustries.net. The California Republican Party, or the California Republican Assembly, the conscience of the Republican Party. Check them out at cragop.org. And then you've got the best in concealed carry tactical holsters available on the market at hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com, helping Americans wear guns. And then finally, you've got the place to go get all of the gear that you need, because they have all at U.S. Combat Gear. You will find all things tactical except the gun. Okay, now we are done with today's program. We very much appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. I am believing, once again, I'm in a conference hall this week. I'm believing that we will be back live tomorrow. It may be pre-recorded, but I'm working on coming back and being here with you live because I enjoy having the commentary and the comments in the back and the forth. But anyway, y'all have fun, stay safe, and we will see you mañana.